What's up? This is Brandon Smitley from BrandonSmith.com. Today I'm going to talk about the Tsunami lat bar from EliteFTS.com. This is about 54 inches long. This is the level 5. There's different levels, and basically the level just means of how much bend and resistance it has. When I bought mine, they only had the level 5 at the time, so it's what I went with, and I feel like that's what I could benefit the most from. The average person, trainee, is probably going to benefit from like a 4 or 3, so unless you bend the bar a little bit more. The reason I want to talk about this product specifically is because I see it used incorrectly almost 99% of the time. I'll show an example of the proper way and then what you're typically probably going to see. It's definitely a special piece of equipment for your cable machine. The average gym is probably not going to have one. They're not terribly expensive, and I think there's actually a lot more usage for them than just people like, oh, it's just another way to train your lats. But if you're a power lifter, it's probably actually a very specific way to train your lats that you're going to use in nearly all 3 lifts. So I'm going to show you some examples with this bar. Okay, so I'm here at my lat machine. It's a very old cable machine, but it's going to get the job done to illustrate my point. With this level 5, as I basically alluded to, there's not going to be as much bend. So the whole point of the bar is so that you can actually bend the bar to help activate your lats better. So the most common thing that you're going to see with this bar, when people do opt to use it, is once they get into position, they're basically just going to treat it like a regular lat pull down, except they're just going to watch the bar whip around back and forth. So they're probably going to look something like this, which isn't really the best way to benefit the usage of the bar. Yes, you're basically going to get a better stretch, and the mechanics are going to change for the overall movement, but the best way to get the most out of this lat bar is take your normal grip like you normally would. I prefer to use straps, that way my grip or my hands are going to give out because it is thick. It's just like a regular fat bar, so it's about 2 inches thick. For a regular lat bar, you know, it's going to be the size of your standard power bar, around 20 millimeters or so. So, once you get into position, your main goal with this bar is going to be try to bend it before you even do anything. So I'm going to try to actively bend this bar. I've got a little bit of weight on there, enough so I can bend it, but then you're actually going to control the rep from the eccentric and the concentric aspect. So once I get down, I'm going to try to keep the bend in the bar, hold it in the bottom for a little bit, back up to return point, very controlled, and repeat. So the main difference here is that my lats are engaged 100% the entire time. I'm trying to actively bend this bar throughout their entire range of motion. Sets of 10 to 12 are probably going to be enough, because once you get past that, your time and retention is just so great that you're probably not going to be using a whole lot of weight. And as you can see with this bar, I'm probably going to actually need more weight. And if I was actually training, I would probably have another 25, 50 pounds on it. So the reason why I like this is that the lats stay activated and you actually have to pull your elbows down and in. Where with a regular lat bar, you can actually get away with just bending your elbows or not actually focusing on a quality contraction. So the bar actually is made to help you feel a quality contraction. So in bodybuilding terms, it's way better to have that mind-muscle connection that you're looking for hypertrophy. And with powerlifting, that hypertrophy with the back work is going to help carry over to the rest of your lifts. Okay, so now that I've showed you it on the cable machine, I'm going to show you how you can use this in your standard cueing, coaching realms. So with the squat, I like to have the clients put it on their back, and then basically we're just going to treat it like it's our squat bar. However, this bar actually bends, so I can tell whether the client knows how to activate their lats properly or not. So I'm going to put my hands about where my hands would normally be with a regular squat bar, and then I'm going to actively pull down on the bar. So as you can probably see in the video, there's not a huge motion with this stiff bar, but it's actually making me have to squeeze my back really, really tight. That's where the bar should be whenever I go to take a max squat attempt and train, etc. The average person just probably puts their hands on their bar and goes, where this is actually really specific because we're actually going to cue that lat. You're not going to do anything other than just use it for a cueing standpoint, but for beginners to intermediates, they don't have an idea of like what lat tightness is in the squat. This is a great external feedback mechanism to help them say, okay, I actually get it because I can feel my lats actually contract and they're actually really hard. For the bench press, you're actually going to be able to put it by your side, and then you're going to take the lat bar and you're actually going to squeeze it towards you. Again, take your bench press grip approximately, and you're actually going to pull in. So that's going to teach how to keep the lats tight here, or when the bar is actually out in front, we're having the lats tight from the get-go. This also helps with your deadlift. So if you're actually in a conventional pull, you know, this is probably too stiff of a bar to do it this close, but it's actually going to bend to let me feel what lat tightness feels like. So when I actually go to deadlift, the bar's in the proper position. Okay, hopefully that covers everything with Tsunami Lat Bar. This product you can get from EliteFTS.com. It's about $90 or so when you compare it to a regular lat bar that's probably $50 or $60. It's not much more. It definitely is a specialty piece of equipment. It's not going to be in your everyday gym. However, I do think that if you own a gym, garage gym, your gym lets you bring in pieces of equipment, or you need to make recommendations, I think this is a solid piece that has a good amount of carryover to powerlifting specifically, and bodybuilders can benefit from it as well because it's just a different training stimulus for the lats. I like it more from coaching perspective, and I like to use it more on hypertrophy-based days because I feel like the lat pull down then becomes more specific towards my sport and competitive endeavor versus a regular lat pull down I can use much more. And if you're able to use less weight on any movement, they get a similar or even better training effect. I think that's bang for your buck, especially in powerlifting where you're going to try to extend your career past 10, 15, 20 years. Anything that's going to help save some wear and tear in your joints, I think is beneficial long term. Like I mentioned, there's also different levels. I think the level 3 or 4 is probably the best. There's also some different lengths that you can get. This is a standard one that's probably the most common. This is a level 5. It's probably a little heavy for me. The level is also going to depend upon your strength and your body weight. 300-pound lifters are definitely going to appreciate this bar much more than someone myself. It's 140, but you can still benefit from it once you learn how to actually activate your lats and use the piece of equipment properly. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And again, check out the piece of equipment over at EliteFTS.com.